and welcome to this live session. We're going to talk about 5 core things that I'm seeing our clients, our top performing wedding venues doing right now so that you can actually implement some of these things, consider how they might work in your business. Now, I totally understand that right now, and I hear this from people when they get into my world, they say, hey, Kelly, this is great. We're hearing conflicting information. We don't know whether we should be doing this, whether we should be doing this, because everybody seems to be saying different things. And I also see wedding venues, experienced sales managers, experienced general managers, experienced wedding coordinators trying lots of different things and not seeing the results that they want. So if any of that resonates you, drop me a little heart emoji. This short session, we're going to go fast today. This is going to be for you. So if you are joining me live, or indeed if you are on the replay, then hello to you as well. Pop your venue name in the chat. We are both live on LinkedIn and we are live on YouTube. Drop your venue name in the chat so I can check in later, see who joined me, and take a look at your website and see who you are. Now, if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly Mortimer. I'm a wedding venue sales trainer, and I work with global hotel groups as well as independent venues, often family run, and we help to get them the sales and the revenue that they want and they deserve, because they have great properties, they have great hotels, but for some reason they're not seeing the sales. Now, if like me, you've been in this industry for a little while, I think I'm hitting just over the 25-year mark now, and maybe you've been in the industry even longer or a little less, you will have seen some serious changes in the wedding industry. You will have seen that couples are doing things differently. And again, you might be an experienced hospitality professional, and previously you were able to smash targets when it came to wedding sales and wedding bookings, and you just feel that there's been a huge shift. And if that is you, then you are in the right place. If you are brand new in the industry, this session probably isn't for you. But certainly if you are somebody who's been around the block a few times, then we are going to get cracking. So let me share with you 5 things that I see typically come through when our clients are working with us and they're getting great sales, and they're working right now in 2025 for their bookings coming in the next kind of 6, 18, 24 months. So number 1 of 5, let's get comfy. Number 1 of 5 is that our clients are modernizing their sales journey. So here's what I see. Often when a hotel or venue will come to me to start working with me, they are mostly only getting their leads from directories. So my friends at Hitched or Bridebook, or if you're in the States, The Knot, Wedding Wire, and they've typically just leaned only on directories for their leads. So I typically see when they first come into my world, they say, well, our leads are coming from directories. They then typically will send one email, a response email to the lead, to the inquiry, and then maybe a 3-day follow-up. And again, if we are getting into the nitty-gritty, guys, if you were a general manager who is telling your team to call couples 3 days after the inquiry comes in, please stop. This does not work in today's world, all right? We need to modernize our sales journey. This whole 3-day calling couples just isn't working. And we'll come back to that in just a second. And then what your team is probably saying is, well, I send that first email, I get ghosted, there's nothing. Maybe I follow up with a call, they don't pick up the phone. So I pop them in the system as a lead. And then a few days later, a week later, I'm just removing them from the system. Now, this is just such a waste of everyone's time, right? These leads that are coming in are cold. They are not hot leads. They are not big quality inquiries. And then our teams are wasting time popping them in the system and removing them from the system. Then some of these couples will come in for a tour. But again, when I sit and talk to you guys, when I speak to general managers, they say one of the hardest things is actually getting human beings in the door in today's world. So I totally hear you if that's you as well. And then you're probably sitting in your revenue meetings, you're all looking at each other, the revenue manager, the GM, the sales manager, the wedding coordinator, you're all looking at each other going, well, what the hell do we do? Because times have changed, and somehow now where we used to, be absolutely fully booked with weddings every weekend, multiple weddings a week, somehow we aren't managing to do that now. And so in the revenue meetings, what you do is you say, well, let's slash rates. What else can we do? Let's drop a rate. So you drop rates. And then you think, well, let's throw it on an open day. But you do an open day and they're quieter than ever. And couples do not convert. They might come, tire kickers, they speak to the suppliers, but then they don't convert when it comes to the venue. Guys, if is any of this resonating with you, tell me in the chat. If I can't see your comments floating up live, I will certainly check back in after we finish the live session. But if any of this is landing and you're like, oh yeah, that is exactly what's happening in our revenue meeting, then do let me know in the chat. So the venues that we're working with that are fully booked, that are genuinely selling at excellent rates still, that are booking out all of the dates they want to, they have understood and they have listened to my training and they have understood that the market has shifted. It's not your fault. You're doing the same thing you were doing a few years ago, but the buyers, the couples have completely changed. Now, my venues who are successful, who are top performing, are educating themselves and their teams on this new buyer behavior and how to reach these new couples, as well as how to convert them through that sales journey. And this is one thing that I will cover in the upcoming Wedding Venue Academy, because understanding what is going on with our couples, how they buy, what they do, when they do it is vital to creating that modern sales journey for your venue so that we can actually attract and convert couples. So 1 out of 5 is modernize the sales journey. Number 2, my venues who are doing excellent jobs right now. Oh, let me just check in. Hi, guys. I can see you now. Hey, Fiona. Nice to see you, my love. Lucy from Davenport is here. Anna, General Manager at Thicket Priory. Good to see you. Emily Kate, the Slaughters Manor House. Victoria, Titanic Hotel Belfast. Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining me live. Do talk to me in the chat. Great. I can see your comments popping up. Okay, number 2. My top performing venues are 100% clear that the corporate buyer is different to the wedding buyer, okay? And I think we nod and we smile and we go, yeah, we know that corporate buyers are different. But my top performing venues are really understanding the differences. So, you know, I'm a hotel girl. I come from years and years and years working in big hotel groups, and my clients are still hotels. So I'm certainly embedded in that world, in the hotel world. And the difference is that when your corporate buyers, your banks, your your conferences, when they come to your sales team, they typically have parameters. They have dates they're considering, budget they're pretty clear on, numbers they're pretty clear on, even schedules, right? We want to arrive at this time, we want to do this, we want this kind of food and beverage, and they give it to you so that you can create a proposal, right? And I still see so many wedding venues, so many hotels treating wedding couples in this way. They will say, well, you tell me what you want and I will create a bespoke proposal for you. Now, the wake-up call for my venues that are really doing well right now is that they have become 100% clear on this does not work for wedding couples. Wedding couples do not research the way corporates do. They want to be given options, suggestions, pre-packaged prices. They don't often know their overall budget because they don't know what things cost yet. They don't know their guest numbers. And you might say, well, really? You don't know? But they don't. They're not sure what they can get for how much it's all going to cost. They don't know if they can afford 50 guests, 150 guests. They don't know. They're so different to our corporate buyers. And so they don't know their budget. They don't know their numbers. And guys, they do not know their dates. They are open. They are not date driven. We have to go first. We have to say, here are sample pricing. Here is sample pricing. Here is sample packages. Here are suggestions. We do not put posts out and on our website and say, hey, you tell me what you want and I'll create it. That leaves your wedding buyer completely like a rabbit in headlights. Like, well, I don't know. Can you give me suggestions? You're the professional. And so number 2, becoming 100% clear that our wedding couple is so different to our corporate buyer and adjusting the way that we both market and sell with these couples is a huge piece of what's successful in today's world. Number 3 of 5, understand the research phase. My top performing clients right now, my wedding venues who are, I'm going to pause here. I have one venue that actually turned off their tour calendar. So if you've ever listened to me speak or worked with me, you know I recommend you have some sort of calendar where people can book themselves in for tours. We had one venue that was doing so well implementing everything we were teaching that they got overrun with tours and they actually turned off their tour calendar. Can you imagine being in a place where you are so overrun with bookings and tours that you actually turn off the calendar that allows a couple to book a tour. This is where we got to. And so I want you to see that this is not because, oh, couples just don't book anymore or couples don't come in for a tour. It's because we haven't kept up with the changes, right? And as soon as you keep up with these changes, then you're going to see different results. So number 3, let's talk about understanding the research phase. Successful venues 2025 understand how couples research. Wedding couples are clicking around websites. They are researching. So forget this whole make an inquiry. They don't want to make an inquiry. They want to stalk your website. They want to download a brochure. They want to look at imagery. They want to understand pricing and packaging. And they want to do all of that without having to make an inquiry. They are learning. They are educating themselves about what they can get for what price point, what's available in this city or that city, what's available destination. They're comparing all sorts. How many times have you seen a couple? You might be a barn and tomorrow they're seeing a country house. And you're like, well, do you want a barn or a country house? Well, newsflash, they don't know. That's why they're going to see a barn and a country house, because they actually don't know what it is that they want. And so they are really in research mode. So my venues who are really understanding this whole research mode are really changing the way they do their whole online journey. All right. And here's the thing. Our couples are not date driven. So when we are leading with you tell me the date you want, when we are leading with date availability for weddings on our websites, when we are leading our emails with what date would you like me to check for you, we have not understood our wedding couple in 2025. Wedding couples are not date driven. Stop focusing on that. And then you come to me and you say, oh, Kelly, I can't get anyone to come on a need date, on a Tuesday in February. Okay, but that's because you're forcing people to tell you what date they want. So they're going, oh, I don't know, a Saturday in July. And they're just giving you something because you're asking for it, not because it's true. Now, confusing and complicated websites are slowing down your sales. So again, understanding this research phase means no drop-down bars from the menu, no drop-down menus from your website, because they don't know where to click. So then they're clicking all over the place. They're getting themselves lost. They don't know what they're looking at. And you are not controlling their sales process. So what we need is to understand how they're researching, creating an easy step-by-step process whereby they can get the information they need in a simple, uncomplicated way without speaking to a human being, without asking them to email you, without asking them to pick up the phone, without asking them to speak to a human. Again, we will be teaching this in the upcoming Wedding Venue Academy. And if at any point you want the details for that, comment the word academy below. And after this live session, I'll drop the link so you've got all the details and you can see if it's right for your team. Right, let's move on to number 4 of 5, things that I see our best performing wedding venues doing right now. Something huge. Number 4 is something huge. If you've got a pen, grab your pen, make a little note here. This is important. My venues understand the value of nurturing couples. They do understand that the general managers telling the wedding sales team to continue to pick up the phone 3 days after a brochure download or a lead comes in is not going to work. And let me tell you why it's not going to work. Well, your team are already telling you it's not working, but let me tell you why it's not working. It has been proven that couples in their 20s and early 30s have phone anxiety. Now, I'm not here to judge, all right? I have zero. You can call me anytime. I'm going to chat to you for hours. I do not have phone anxiety, but I'm not in that age bracket. And our couples in their 20s and 30s have phone anxiety. They do not want to speak on the phone. So by us, who are a little bit more old school, and we are phone people, we say, hey, team, pick up the phone. Just talk to people. Your wedding couple find that intrusive. They find it anxiety inducing. And how do you feel when a business cold calls you? Because that's what you're doing. You're cold calling someone who's simply shown a little bit of interest by downloading a brochure or making an inquiry, which, by the way, we shouldn't be doing at all. So this whole 3-day phone call thing is not working. We need to nurture our couples. My venues who are seeing excellent results have used my training to create the most brilliant follow-up process by which we warm our couples up, because they take longer than ever, don't they? You will have seen this. They take longer and longer to move each step of the process. So to go from that first email to a little warm up, to actually get for a tour, to actually make a booking, it's all elongated. So the better the warm up, the better the nurture, the more tours you book, and of course, the more bookings you can make. Now, my smart venues, they jump into my deep dive trainings on how to create these epic nurture sequences, because it's going to take you a long time to trial and error to see what works, where instead you can just hop into my training. I'm going to teach you exactly how to do it. And because we work with hundreds and thousands of businesses all over the world, we already know what works, both here in the US and in Australia. So again, if you want to join the Wedding Venue Academy, it's coming soon. Comment the word academy in the box and I will drop the link for you after this live. So number 4 was value of nurturing our couples. Forget the 3-day phone call, forget calling them. We need to nurture these couples. Okay, number 5, the emotional tour. The emotional tour. When your couples do get on site, and I know that's harder than ever, but once you start to put the nurture sequence in place, once your website is working the way I'm going to teach you, once you've understood what's going on with our buyers and their behavior, you will see more tours. I want you to be in the same position as my other client who's literally turning their tour calendar off, right? So once you get in a position where you've got lots of tours coming through, then we need to look at your conversion of tours. Now, I like to see a solid 50% conversion of my tours coming into venues. Now, where we miss the mark is that most venues, before they work with me, they think that on the tour, on the venue viewing, on the show round, whatever you call it, they think they have to talk about the logic. This is where guests come in. This is how many tables fit in the room. This is the size of the table and how many chairs fit around it. This is where the bar is. And I'm not saying we don't mention any of it. But when a couple gets on site at your venue, what they need is gut feel. They need an emotional response, okay? This is like going on a first date. The guy or girl might tick all the boxes logically, but you have no gut response. You have no butterflies, this is the one feeling. And so what we want is that when they get on site with you, they have an emotional response to your venue. Now, this is a skill that your team can be taught so that they can create this in your couples coming on site, which dramatically increases the conversion of the couples coming. Because by the time they get to you, they have already looked at your capacity, your location. If you're next to a motorway, they know it. If you're in the middle of a field, they know it. If you're a barn, they know it. If you, whatever your things are, capacity, style, size, pricing, they know it, okay? What they're looking for when they get on site is, how do I feel in this venue? Do I get the goosebumps? Is this the one? And so that needs to be taught to your team. And again, we'll be teaching that inside the Wedding Venue Academy. So if you want your team to join, drop the word academy below in the chat and I will link the details for you after I finish this live. So what I want for you is for you to be able to stop looking at each other in revenue meetings where you're going, what should we do? I want you to stop having to guess what the next step is. One of my venues literally just commented this morning that she booked 11 extra weddings in June. Another one of my venues, 17 extra weddings they sent me in their last message to me. So instead of guessing, why don't you enroll yourself or your team into the upcoming Wedding Venue Academy, where I will take your team step by step through exactly what you need to do. No guessing, no question marks. This is what's working now. You implement as we go. We teach one week, we implement, I teach again the next week. We implement, I teach again the next week. And we do that for 6 weeks. So by the end of 6 weeks, your team have taken dramatic action and you will already be seeing results. So if that sounds exciting to you, if you're ready to change things, comment the word academy below. I will drop the link to all the details. The early bird pricing ends in 10 days. And the early bird pricing is currently 50% of the main standard pricing. So now is the time to be smart and jump in. Don't leave your team without the tools. Give them the tools they need. I will teach them exactly what to do. And you will start seeing results in your sales and revenue very quickly. Guys, thank you for joining me live. Amazing to have you all. You can always go back and watch the replay of this if you need to catch up on anything else. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.